Oops. I think we're alive. Well, I'm alive. Don't feel it much, but we're alive. Okay. 2337 was this M1 Mac. Student's laptop. They need the data. We'll pop it open before we apply any power, just so we can... I don't have any information on this one other than that they need the data. So I'll open it up before I do anything that may risk the data. I mean, as a general rule, with these machines, it's always a good idea to have a look at them first before you start trying to pump any more joules of energy in. Sounds like I've got a couple of parties going on around me. Saturday night and the motocross championships in town. Traffic's been a bit crazy. Alright. Electro, Craig, Vapor Chills. Yep. Alright. Let's see. First thing that comes to mind, there's a little bit of liquid over here, I think. There's just some discoloration, spotted discoloration, which tends to imply liquid. This one, unlike some of the previous ones, doesn't appear to have been manipulated, so that's a good thing. There's some hope. Alright, let's get it disassembled. Disconnect that battery. And Joe, just need to send a message here. It's not very often I get machines that haven't been manipulated before, so it's always a pleasure. And they generally have a higher success rate. Statistically, that sort of makes sense, though, because most of the time you don't get machines sent to you unless there's already been dramas. Yep. Partying. I don't mind these machines, these M1s. They're fairly straightforward. They're kind of like, yeah, how the 1466 is pretty straightforward to get in and out. Come on. I might have to close that window shortly. No visible tide marks down there. Just going to take a look at this daughter board. Come on. No, that looks pretty clean. Connectors look clean. Fairly clean. Have a look at the USB-C input cable. Every now and then you get a job where it ends up being this cable. Not today, Mr. Daniels, not today. Hey, Grande. Yes, this is one of the M1 chips. I need to buy myself one of these. I mean, it's always good to have a known working chassis and board to test everything from. Alright, let's have a look. Nothing on that side. And nothing on that side, really. Yeah, right. Interesting. Hey, Christian, Diatom. Let's see what we're going to get when we put power in. See if we can at least get some sort of hint of what's wrong. The 20 volts. There's little spikes in there. You can see as it runs along. Yeah, so it's trying to start something and then it gets shut down. It's a little bit ominous. Okay, we'll take the heatsink off. Might be something wrong with the PMIC region. Not sure yet. I have had a couple of these where every now and then one of the inductors just goes and dies for some reason. Not even fully dead, it's just like a little partial death or something. And unfortunately that looks disturbingly clean as well, so this is going to be fun. These ones are particularly difficult to track down if you do have a short because of the fact that the PMIC shuts it shuts down any sort of shorted rails within half a cycle or so. So you never really get any build-up of heat. But we will go around and we will check these for any sort of shorts. Just hit the test pads first. That's a ground one. All quiet so far. Hey Matthew Noel. Alright, PMIC's pretty quiet too, and I don't see any notable defects on the surface of the PMIC. If I had to guess, I would say we do have perhaps a shorted cap. Given that everything is so clean, it's more likely to be the case, and we are getting 20 volts. So I might bring out the thermal camera in the very off chance that we get a luck shot here. Although it actually might... It's going to try something, just in case I've completely missed an obvious situation here. I'm going to try and boot it without the daughter board, just in case there's a fault with the daughter board and it's actually all fine to go, because sometimes these machines, they will give this 20 volt intermittent like pickup if they don't have their battery on them. So we'll see. Could also be the trackpad for all we know. Yeah, so that's actually booting, I think. Yep, booting. Have to find out why this is here. What was the fault for this machine, question mark, because I am now booting. Bit of an anticlimax, don't you think? We'll put that heatsink back on. Oh yes, the privacy guards, very very high tech. This is a, what is this? iPhone 11 Pro screen I replaced. Oh, that's right. Unfortunately, it's a new screen, but it's glitching. Just sort of like 1/4 of it glitches. And so while it's not something I can give to a customer, I can just keep it as a working sort of tester spare. I'm too lazy to send a lot of these things back to the supplier that I get them from. Because, you know, there's paperwork you got to fill out for the RMA and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, nah. In terms of time and return postage, it's hard to justify sometimes. I mean, if it's a $200 screen, sure, I'll send it back, but by the time anything under $50 screen, it's sort of starting not be worth it. Mind you, these are more than 50. but I am lazy. Hey Miles, let's see. Nope, no response yet. I'll have a look at the daughter board under the microscope. Who knows, maybe something will be obvious there. Mr. Tritz, yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a rough week and a bit. We had our roof replaced, or half of our roof replaced, and we had a couple of very stressful nights because there's a 2 or 3 wildling cats that lived up in the roof, and obviously we tried to keep them out of the roof before the people came to actually do the replacement, and would you believe it, just before they turn up, the wildlings managed to sneak back into the roof, and so they had to be up there enduring the builders tearing down the roof, and it was pretty scary for them, I'm sure. And anyway, they didn't come back for a fair bit, as you can well imagine. And so we had fears. One of them we saw run off, so we thought, okay, fine, yeah, we know one is okay, he's run off. But the other one we didn't see, and so we didn't know what her fate was. And we were naturally getting paranoid and worried and thinking up all sorts of horrible scenarios. But fortunately, she did finally turn up last night, so that's great. Now, the downside is that the roofing is not yet complete. Ah, goddamn asshole. I know who that is too. I hate the fact that when you live in a small town, it's very difficult to pull people up on that sort of crap. And just lately, they've been getting a little bit out of hand. Yeah. I wonder what the hell is wrong with this machine. Because that also looks perfectly good. Might have to put this one to the side and then get on with the next one, since we're waiting to hear back. Yeah, there's definitely little liquid marks on here. Maybe the speaker. It could be there's a problem in the speaker itself, because this is more than just a speaker. They now have the lid sensors in there, I believe. And so it's entirely possible that what's happening is that if liquid got in there, messed with the lid sensor, I guess we'll find out. We'll do some testing. Christian, that's pretty much what they all have around here. They've got their old Land Cruisers, Toyota Land Cruisers, a lot of them, or Pajeros, or Nissan Patrols. And they just try their best to straight pipe them, or no muffling or anything like that, because it's loud, and that's about it. It doesn't actually really do much else other than just be loud and obnoxious. What I don't get is how the hell they get past. They drive downtown. There's not many places to go downtown. How the hell they manage to retain those lack of muffling for as long as they do, because any patrol car around here is going to know who they are, and is going to hear them, and is going to know that that is not in compliance. Not that I'm a stickler for compliance, but there's pleasantly loud, and then there's just assholely obnoxious. And a lot of these guys lately have been falling into the assholey obnoxious level. It's to the point where when they drive past you can hear the windows rattle, and it physically pains you. And I mean, I'm half deaf, and it's still... So yeah, they're just obnoxiously loud assholes. Yeah, they're everywhere. What you gonna do about it? Stick a banana up their tailpipe? They probably like that too much. Right, well, we'll try now in this state and see if we get any startup. So this is basically just going to be a case of divide and conquer, assuming that it doesn't start up. I do not have the daughter board connected yet. Better get our protection screen on. Do what James May did. So whenever they turn on their blinkers, their horn goes off. That'd require a little bit too much intervention. But it's a good idea. But too much intervention. I think they just bonged. I felt the vibration. Yeah. One thing I've thought of doing is having a strobe light, just a flash tube up the road, buried in the countryside somewhere, because I know when they go past if they're exceeding the speed. I mean, it goes from 60 outside our front to 80 about 50 meters up, so they don't really bother with the 60. That's the other problem, is if we had this rezoned to 50 and then 60, they might slow down a little, but unlikely. But I was thinking it'd be nice to put a strobe up there, and if they go past too fast, I can just sort of remotely activate the strobe, and at least for a moment they will think that they're in strife. But they would get used to it quick enough. But it would give me a week or so of peace. Although technically I believe it's illegal to do that, in terms of even the police are not allowed to have flash like that anymore because it's too much of a distraction. Alright, well, that booted. So all we've got left now is plug the daughter board flex in and see what happens. The other possibility is that this was percussive maintenance, as in just the trip itself being shaken and stirred has resulted in it being repaired. And since this is a data recovery job, there's no point trying to find out why. Just back it up and send it back. Okay. This is charging as well. And it's booting as well. What the hell? Why am I being sent working machines? This machine is working currently, so it might be an idea for me to do a backup and presume that it's going to die at some later point. Did it just... Huh. Let's see if the keyboard works. Keyboard works too. No, I'm stumped. It works. Magic. Yeah, the only trouble with a job like this is that you don't get paid for this sort of job because like it works. So I don't get paid for the rabbit hole. I don't get paid for this. I'm still out of pocket and time. What is it? 1780. Ah, come on. Gotcha. Hell, for all I know, it was just the battery connector not sitting properly. Okay, 1780. Wouldn't be the first time. $17.80. Logic board and me. Well, at least we got a passcode for this one. Alright, that's that one done. When I finish the stream tonight, I will revert back to this and set that up. Okay, what else we got? Eek. One of these new machines. A2442s. The ones that take forever to take out of the chassis and don't have all the spare parts for them, and yeah, lots of grumbly stuff. Okay. These are my regretful Macs, because they gave us what we wanted, which was more ports, which we realized we didn't want. Although, to be fair, I think that Apple kind of made it extra ugly for us, just to perhaps punish us for asking for such things. Oh, you're a bin job. Ugh. Okay, somebody's been into this already. Let's see, there's chipping on the screws. Yep, Miles, that's right. And the whole Touch ID button, power button area is just terrifying. You know, the way it just snakes in past the heatsink with its lovely sharp fins, and all you can imagine is one of those fins slicing very cleanly through the Touch ID flex cable. I really do not like the way they put the trackpad flex over the battery. It was just like, why? I guess the one thing it saved them was having to have that little plastic strip that they used to use to cover up the battery terminals. Not sure it was worth it. Yep, they really are a literal definition of that. I agree. I think it was a bad timing scenario, because finally enough devices were coming out as USB-C that we were kind of like, okay, fine, you know, we can... I always forget that's a T6. That's the other thing, like, why the hell did they put T6 there? I mean, why T6? Why not just stick with T5? Or, you know, it's just weird. And I think this one here, yeah, the bottom one's also a T6. But then this one's back to T5. Yeah, it was an unfortunate overlap of timing. About the only thing that I think maybe is valid is perhaps the not even the SD slot, yeah, HDMI port maybe. But yeah, I'd just rather have the 4 USB ports. Hell, even the MagSafe. I was a big lover of the MagSafe, but I find that these days they've sort of gotten USB sorted out well enough that we can go without it. Do I agree that the 22-23 tech market is a big copy as much as you can avoid getting caught industry? One company invented ray tracing. What do you mean invent ray tracing? We've been doing ray tracing for eons. I'm really sort of unsure. I mean, I feel like the copying thing is almost a constant process. I do feel like that a lot of companies are actively doing their best to tighten down the screws as much as they can with things like licensing, locking people in, all that sort of stuff, even more than before. I think a good example is, say, Microsoft with Windows 11, just going as far out of way as they can to inhibit you from being able to have a non-online account. Everybody's just pushing to put everybody onto subscriptions and online. And sadly, the worst thing is, it's what a lot of people are wanting. Like one of the biggest things I run into with selling Flex Board View is people just don't understand this concept of perpetual licenses anymore. At least a fairly reasonable proportion of my potential clients are like, they're confused by the fact that I'm like saying, what do I say like? That I'm saying, 147, it's a perpetual license. You buy this license, you get this version. It doesn't expire. If you want to get a new version later, you can buy the upgrade. But that one that you have there will continue to be usable indefinitely. And they just sit there and they're like, what? But it's more expensive than subscription. And it's like, oh my goodness. So I've actually... anyway, kudos to the marketing teams that managed to pull that one off. And they did it in pretty quick time, less than a decade, and they've switched a great portion of people over. Hey, Jonathan. I mean, Miles, I do like the USB, the MagSafe, but what I don't like is the way they implemented it here, because they basically have put it implemented, as you know, as another USB-C port with an adapter on it. In fact, that's the whole thing. All of these ports are just adapted USB-C, and that is why the board is such a major pain in the backside. It's complex. If they had perhaps gone with just direct hardware like they have on the previous editions where they've had these ports, that would have been fine. But instead we've got all these extra CD3217s and whatever else. That's more parts, more complexity, more likelihood of failure. I think the thing that sells people on the subscriptions is this addiction that people have for constant updates. Like, they want to feel like when they check this week to see if there are any new updates, there's going to be new updates. So it's kind of like a prize that keeps on giving for them. Whereas when you buy a fixed version, funnily enough though, there's not any real difference there. Because if I release an update, say for version 5, then you can get that update. But it's all these subtleties of psychology. And like I said, it works. Gotta hand it to them. They made subscription-based non-ownership of software and many other things appealing. Waiting for board view and augmented reality. Ha! Yeah. That would be quite something. Your T8 or T6? Your T6. Talk down quite nicely. How long the last FP? Not sure what you mean by that, Joe. I mean, version 4 of Flexboard View was probably went for 2 years, 2.5. Wow, all this time we still haven't got this thing out. I'm just checking to make sure I haven't got any snares. Hey, Trady. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was about 2.5 years or so that version 4 was running around. Version 4 was a little bit of a funny one though. It was a bit of a transitional version. Here comes the tear risk. Jeez, yeah. Okay, is this going to be another one that's just booting without my intervention? I'm not seeing any damage. Nothing's jumping out at me. Ortega from Argentina. Yeah, nothing jumping out. Once again, another unknown. I'm gonna have to smack some hands here. Definitely gonna have to smack some hands so that those hands in future make sure that they write down what the fault is before sending it to me. Or put the fault on the machine. Otherwise, waste time. Time is a luxury. So if I had to guess, this is probably going to be a shorter capboard. Given the fact that it's in what appears to be very good condition. And usually when you've got a board in very good condition, then you've either been hit by lightning. Sort of got a 2098, and I've had more than my fair share of fun with those recently. Let's see if we can see any bulging defects on the NANDs. Nothing there. I got one that I just had to give up on recently. I just couldn't solve it, and I wanted to solve it because it was an interesting fault that I had. At the end of the day, I've already spent several days collectively to no avail. I wasn't making any headwind. I wasn't able to. Everything I tried didn't seem to produce any change in results. And I was just wasting everybody's time. So I was like, I'll put this back together and maybe someone else can figure it out. Someone smarter. Okay, there's a little bit of spotting down here. Yeah, I think even Tim's going to start rejecting a lot of these things. Both Tim and myself sort of tend to have a lot of the same mindset, and we're both getting bogged down with a lot of jobs that we need to kick out the door a lot sooner. Like I said, it's not because you don't want to do it, it's just because you just feel like you're doing a disservice to your business and you're doing a disservice to the customer. Yeah, flip me. Can't see anything wrong with this one either. What the hell is that? I'll see if I get any power up by using a USB-C connector. Yeah, trying not to get too invested is difficult. Because like I said, you definitely enjoy the challenge. And that's all good and well so long as you've got the time. And honestly, I find that if you don't get it solved in the first hour or two, then it's probably going to become a long-term resident, and that's not a good thing. $20. What the hell's going on here? I get 20 volts, 180, 200. Okay, it is staying at that 180, 200, which is a bit of a concern. Oh, we're going up now, we're going up. Let's try and do something, and then it just... Okay, it momentarily spiked up there. What did it get up to? 1.1 amps before giving up. More magnets. Yours is going out on Monday. I've got all the parts. One part I didn't put back on, but I've got it in a baggie for you. But that's going out on Monday. It's all packed up. Unfortunately, the last couple of days of the week did not go well with the roofing. I mean, the roofing went well, but the impact it had was not. But yeah, without the donor boards, yeah, definitely that Touch ID section is just not going to... You're just going to have to wait till we can get donor boards more readily for this. It's always a pain when dealing with the most modern stuff. Trying to work out what's going on with that glitching, whether it's definitely got some big spikes coming up there. So I'm going to bring out the infrared camera and see if anything shows up. And hopefully, Magnets, you can find someone who can solve that. Because I would definitely love to know what the hell was going on with it. It was a very weird one. I just unfortunately didn't have the luck that I was looking for. Hey, Norman, sorry, not Newman. Paul Newman. Oh dear. Some will, some won't, with regards to powering up. Okay, what worries me here is we've got a warm CPU already. Looks like, yeah, no good. Okay, the NAND's dead on this possibly. It could just be reflections. But we've got a CPU that's definitely showing some warmth. It's not good. Not good. Oh, sorry folks. No. Switch this around. I mean, there's a certain degree of reflection, but I'm fairly sure that's getting slightly warm. It could just be normal, but certainly that CPU is showing warmth, and that's a bad thing. Flip it over. It's not a lot of heat. Like I said, hopefully we can find something that is just every now and then spiking. Just gotta wait for it to happen. The crosshair should jump if it does, assuming it's strong enough. Just stupid reflections for the moment. More stupid reflections. Even if you don't see where the crosshairs jump to, if the spike is big enough and it moves the crosshairs, you'll at least know that they've jumped. Yeah, you will see them jump away. But nothing showing up there. We still getting spikes? Yeah, we're still getting spikes. That's interesting. There's some sort of warmth up there, or is it just another reflection? I'm gonna kill the main lights. Okay. That looks like a warm spot. I'm just casting a shadow over my hand. That there looks like a warm spot. Usually we use a big box, and I don't have a big box at the moment, or I use a towel, and I don't have a towel at the moment either. But yeah, if I tilt the board, it did go away. Damn it. No. Okay. I had a momentary hope there. Funnily enough though, we did find out that even with the box over the top, it can still be difficult, just simply because of the fact that the camera itself seems to emit its own heat, which then it picks up as a reflection. You're an annoying little board. Crotch cam. Flip it. Crutch cam. Sorry folks, not really what you want to It's not what you come here for. Yeah, that NAND is definitely suspect. I mean, there's reflections, but damn it. So I kind of need to get the alignment. Yeah, there's reflections, but that looks like warmth. You can see the NANDs on the other side aren't reflecting the same way. And let's see, where's our heat? Around about there. That's not really what we want to see. Okay. I don't want to be injecting anything yet into this, but here is the one in question. If it's getting warm, it's a bad sign. Oops. We'll just check a couple of the common rails. Zero, not good. On voltage, yeah. 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we've got 12 volts there. Nothing. I don't know why I'm bothering. Yeah, nothing should be there. Nothing. 12 volts in. 12 volts in. Just going to check over here. Similar situation. 0.8. Yeah, so this is more 1.2. This might be 0.9. 0.83, a little low, but let's see, 12, 2.5. Okay, I was way off on that. Missing like 10 volt off my estimate. 3.8 volts alive. Yeah, that's a bad sign. Big time bad sign. What? I'm bothing? What the hell's bothing? So let's see what the resistance and stuff is on these. $63, $64. I don't think I've got any. I don't believe I've got any data on this. Oh, there's a defect in the board outline. Okay, so this is the one here. What? That's completely nothing to do with. Jeez, kids screaming. Okay, that's a USB-C 5-volt regulator. Okay, I'm way off target there. Stay on target. These are the ones I was supposed to be checking. Bothering. Right. Understood now. Oh shit, oops. Yeah, always fun measuring ohms when the circuit's powered. Okay, 1.2, 0.8, 0.84, 0.84. The mysteries deepen. So maybe the problem is not so much that this one's warm, but rather that the others are not. Much problems. Okay, we'll check out main resistances. And nobody can see. Sorry folks, I'm going to go to quad display and then at least you're going to all be happy with a slightly reduced output. Okay, 2v5 NAND, so normally I'm used to that being in the region of 600 to 1k. Okay, I mean, I consider that to be fair. Now we'll check over here. Okay, this is, I don't know what that rail is there, 2k. We're just looking for anything that's suspiciously low. Hi, sweetie.
Someone's used the cat hole.
Someone's used the cat hole.
I can hear him up there.
Oh yeah, who do you think it is?
Probably Talia.
Yeah, you're going to stick your nose into the broom cupboard and find out.
I suppose I could. I don't want to disturb her.
Yeah, fair enough. Just stick your nose through the cat hole and then they'll be like, oh, a Loki.
Well, he was just
Yeah, you can
down
take the pea bum out.
He was just settling down and I woke him.
Hey Graham, how's it going on your side? Hey Graham, you moving shop again? I know, it's a bad joke. It's all I've got, okay? Leave me alone. I'm having a terrible time here. The first machine I'm trying tonight just works. And this one, I don't even know what's wrong with it. Yes, yeah, saw me grinning. Not much of a poker face. But you guys are streaming tonight, aren't you? I'll probably be asleep, but I'm guessing you are. Yeah. Okay, look, I don't know. I really wish... Where the hell is Jason? Honestly. Just give me a second here. I'm trying to... Yeah. What are you doing tonight? Anything interesting, or are you just going to sit there and talk and drink cider like a... You may as well just be down at the pub. Trying to be real men. Oh, I'm going to stick this one back into the chassis and see if I can get any idea of what's going on, because we've at least done the check to see if there was anything blatantly obvious wrong before we applied power or put it back in there. We haven't found anything other than that one NAND is warming up but the others aren't. So it's a 50-50 situation. Either that is operating properly and those aren't, or vice versa. Rehousing YouTube rig again. One of the water coolers in it is dying. See, this is why I don't do the water cooling or fancy stuff. You people and your fancy stuff. See, every week you're creating new content about the fact that the fancy stuff you use to create the content is not doing what it's meant to do. Whereas me, I'm sitting here with a stock Intel cooler, the little one, mind you. Mind you, it is a 12th gen, so it's got the cool blue ring around it. And it just works. Honestly, I think you guys just like to create drama for the sake of drama. You're a bunch of drama addicts. Stop fiddling with your stuff. This rig is because I keep using grotty old all-in-ones. Oh, you've been using all-in-ones for your YouTubing? You're crazy, man. I gotta admit, though, since switching over to using the NVIDIA T400 was the key to making my YouTube stuff work a lot better. And I like using the T400 because it's cheap and it doesn't use a lot of power, and Linux actually supports it. It's like, hooray, finally Linux supports something. But mostly it was cheap. But yeah, I'm gonna go with you're just a bunch of drama queens that like making drama so that you can make YouTube content about how you're having such dramas. Which is why you've got 500,000 subscribers, or however many you got, and I've got none. So clearly you have the superior strategy. Mind you, I've got 1100 videos, and you see success with YouTube, social media with me? No. It's because of those 1100 videos, 1098 of them are boring because I don't edit. Maybe if I edited and I only had 100 good videos, I might have actually gotten somewhere with the last 7 years. But I'm too lazy. Because I'm actually a technician and not a media personality. And I have fancy chin hair and exotic glasses and a actual decent shop. God, I hate this board. This machine design just drives me mad. Really, it's like, thank you, Apple. You made me actually like the 1700 A2141s. That's how bad you made this. Mr. Ruin asking about what language. It's in C++. But really, because I am the programmer, it's more like C with just enough C++ in it to satisfy the requirements of the user interface, and the rest of it is pretty much C. Okay, what have I trapped under here? I've trapped something because, see, it's not sitting down. Oh, I trapped the Wi-Fi. Bastardized C. It's glorified C. I do feel like, yeah, that we don't need to, but it really would have been good to have a C implementation that took just the extra bits of that C++ brought to us. Things like the string support and the vectors and maps and stuff like that. Yeah, just standard template library. Just adding that and, yeah, really pretty much getting rid of the rest probably would have gone a long way to... Oh, now I've taken all the... Oh god, this is just a... You cannot put these boards in easily without using tape. C sharp, oh god, no. No, definitely not C sharp. Yeah, when I saw Microsoft bring out C sharp, I was like, really? How lousy was your, then again, or how great was your marketing department that you had to capitalize on the existing C++? And the only reason I think that they went with the sharp symbol is because it's like two pluses overlaid, offset. It's like nice bit of thievery there, Microsoft. Nice little bit of thievery. Oops. For me, C++ is generally 90% of it just feels like pointless crap. I know it's not. I'm only saying that because I'm not a good programmer and I look at it and I go, I don't know what to use that for, so I'm going to assume that it's crap. See, I'm learning how to talk like a social media person. Rubber on the right. What? Rubber on the... Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. The way they've done these heatsink shrouds, you know that they're getting people to assemble these for 5 cents a machine or something like that, because there is no way that a machine like this could go through a review of, like if you want to optimize your, your factory floor. There's no way it can go through factory floor optimization and still be such a colossal pain in the ass to assemble. Because they'll be like, well, in terms of labor, you're losing $6 or $7 on a machine for each machine because of the bad design of the layout. And yeah, it'd be a substantial amount of time that they would go, yeah, okay, you know what, we should redesign it and reap ourselves another $500 or $2 billion in saved labor. So they've got to be getting labor for just dirt cheap. C++ was designed to be enjoyable. I don't know who the hell said that, but I've never heard it say like that. C++, in my opinion, is kind of like a second system syndrome language. It's like, right, well, we didn't, C needs some improvement, so let's add everything that we can possibly think of and make it C++. So yeah, in my opinion, it's got a lot of second system syndrome issues, which is akin to including the kitchen sink. It's a bit like with the difference between IPv4 and IPv6. I sort of, the second time around, they're like, right, we don't want to stuff this up, so let's really stuff it up. I mean, agreeably, it's sort of working out now, but it's only like 20 years late. And we're still all holding on to our IPv4 addresses as much as we can. But yeah, 90% of my code that I write is basically just bastardized C. I am predominantly a C programmer, and I have come to appreciate and adopt some of C++'s things. It's not because it's object-orientated. I don't have a problem with that. Before I did a lot of my C programming, I was a very big... I did a lot of development in Ball and Pascal, and I very much enjoyed using their object-orientated model. So it's, nothing to do with that. Not against object-orientated programming. I find it quite useful, although for the most part I sort of don't utilize it too much. I just sort of, in C you can sort of not really simulate it, but you can behave in similar ways just simply by making sure you write your code in such a way that you access everything through the functions and share a struct that you pass, rather than just making everything global and hoping for the best. Alright, this son of a gun of a thing is reassembled finally. Michael Chits, the problem there is YouTube. I can't do anything about it. There's no post-processing that I can do to a YouTube stream other than what YouTube itself does. Well, other than downloading it myself and then editing it and then re-uploading. Not that I would do that because I make a... what am I doing here? I make a local copy of the video anyway, so if I'm going to edit it, I'll edit it from the local, somewhat unadulterated version. This is going to be hilarious if this boots up. I have a feeling it's not going to boot up because, like I said, we've got that odd disparity between the NANDs. Yeah, I know... I don't know what to say about it, but yes, it may seem like I'm the only channel, but the chances are there are actually other channels that are suffering it, but they're not channels that you view. So there's probably a couple of million channels that are out there, and there's going to be channels on various stratas, and I'm fairly low down because of my low sub count and watches. So of all the channels you watch, mine is maybe one of the only ones at that particular strata which has been hit by this sort of scenario, whereas other channels get a higher priority, or they're processed differently, or they're not doing live stream like this. I guess the point is, it's not what I'm doing, it's YouTube, and there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. As much as I wish there was. Because believe me, if it was a simple case of me going click and fixing up something, I would do it. But it's nothing I can do. Plus I'm a Queenslander, yep. Shit, that one boots. It boots. What the frick is going on? Two machines that boot after I have disassembled and put them back together. Really? I'm going to yell at Jason about this. What the hell? Why does it write what the grill? Hell. This machine works too. No, I can't buy a lottery ticket now. I've just used up all my luck. No, alright. Let's see if I've got a password for this one. What is this? 1783. That's the other thing I have to do. I have to get to work on this ticketing software. I've got a lot of people who are asking me to, if I, what it is, who, if they can get a copy and things like that. And to date, it's an internal custom piece of software, but it is a very simple piece of software. It's just one PHP file and it creates its own SQLite database. Oh, pardon me, a bit of burping there. So it's a very, very simple ticketing system. It's going to be too limited for most people, and it's not going to integrate in ways that I have set up to integrate. Like I can do the scanning with the tickets and it will bring it up on my video recording, things like that. So, that sort of thing will be outside of the scope of what I would be able to share to everybody, simply because, not because I don't want to, but simply because it's so specific to my configuration that it is pointless to share it, because it'll only add more crap. It's the beard, magical forest beard. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just reading comments. Anyway, well, look at work. So therefore, it looks like I've got two machines to run backups on tonight. Let's see. Graham used to run his own custom ticketing system, PHP, but your PHP knowledge went way out of date. That doesn't matter. With the security, it's actually pretty easy these days for the most part. If you just, like with, say, the SQLite, if you just bind the variables into your SQL state and you insert your select whatever, I get itchy nose. When you do the binding, that eliminates a vast majority of your security issues, and then for the most part, PHP now protects you quite well. Like you can't easily do globals and all that, so it becomes a bit of an impediment in other areas. But really, if you do that along with doing a sanitization filter of the input variables, it's pretty hard for a small application to get too much surface area that could be exposed or cracked into. There's always security issues and there's always going to be blind spots when you're coding, but you're probably not going to be too much worse off than, say, if you were using, let's see, what's a common popular thing? What's the one that I'm seeing someone keeps trying to crack all the time? I can't think of it. There's a popular blogging type software, and I can't remember what it is. God damn it. Come on, come on, come on. What's the most hacked blogging, easy to use PHP software out there? WordPress. Thank you very much, Stephen W. Yes, WordPress. Yeah, I see thousands of WordPress crack attempts going past on the website, which is actually fun because the moment they do that, I can just put them in the IP block list. So they actually, I'm kind of, by running my own software, I'm effectively becoming a honeypot for all the software that I don't run that's common. So it works very well. Why is Sleep S3 dropping suddenly when power button is pressed? Not sure. Depends what board you're talking about. I don't really work too well with these sort of technical questions. I'm too stupid on the fly. I can't really do that. Lewis Rossman's very good for that sort of thing, but not me. Many use AI to code. I don't know why people would do that, except for the delusion that they're saving time. Because ultimately, you're going to have to go through and vet that code one way or another. And many times, one of the hardest things with writing software is getting a good software specification written down. It's not so hard when you're the writer of it yourself. Like if I'm the user and the writer, you kind of eliminate that. But even then, you can have troubles with yourself between what you think you want versus what you find out you do need. But most of the problems in software development can be traced back to inaccurate software specifications, and so that is actually going to be magnified now by the AI, getting the AI to do code. There are probably areas where AI coding is going to be very useful, but I think overall it's probably going to be put in with all the other supposed silver bullet type solutions that we've been saying we're going to have since the 1980s, and nothing's ever really quite been a silver bullet. At the end of the day, it's human versus machines, and we're always sloppy creatures, so we're always going to have sloppy code issues. Alright, that's it. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to get this backed up before it... Did it just die? No, it's alive. I'm going to get this backed up and the other one backed up before the night goes out, because I don't want to lose the chance to actually recoup some of my time on this. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching for a very non-eventful stream. We did not heat up one damn thing. We didn't heat up a soldering iron. We didn't heat up the hot air. That's disappointing. I guess we just have to come back and build some stuff. By the way, yeah, these are... I'm going to have to write a page to sell these. It'll probably just be a PayPal page where you can just order one of these and the light rings. It's coming. It just takes time. Other priorities like building a ramp to the cat hole, which I'm going to go and have a look at now. I'll catch you all later. You all take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.